Good morning to everybody, and welcome to our week number 2 of our course Competitiveness Model 8 Personal Development. We have an interesting topic today, and the topic is human nutrition and human preventive medicine. Sometimes we don't think about the importance of what we eat, the food that we are getting inside of our body, and all the consequences if we don't have a healthy life. We're going to talk about that today. So I hope that you learn a lot. We're going to learn also about the food pyramid. We're going to learn a lot of things about the foods, what we can eat, about the portion also that we need to eat every day, what our body needs. And we're going to talk also about prevention, about the importance of vaccines and how the vaccines also works. Okay, so we're going to start this class, and I hope that you enjoy it. And welcome to the class. Can you hear? Let me check this part. Here we go. We have the goals for today. Those are the main objectives that we need to get this day. Number one, we're going to provide tools to you to increase the possibilities of entering the labor and business market. Also, you will know how the food and the healthy pyramid food, it's different for every country, for every culture. We want to learn that too. You're going to take advantage of opportunities for professional self-improvement. You're going to learn today about human nutrition and human preventive medicine. Also, you're going to learn about the different cultures and how this nutrition in culture is different. Depends the area, depends the fruits, vegetables, and traditions, cultures that they have. It's important for us to understand that part. Okay, so in here we have the quotes for this week, number 2, that also are related to the topic. The first quote says, "Our food should be our medicine, and our medicine should be our food." You see how interesting it is, this quote that was saying by Hippocrates. So Hippocrates said that. Imagine how many years ago we have this person in history, but how they think. They are talking about our food, that this food should be our medicine, and our medicine should be our food. That's why it's so important, the human nutrition. And we also have the second quote said about Benjamin Franklin: "Eat to live, and not live to eat." This is something really important because sometimes we live to eat, but we have to eat to live, and to live healthy and to live good. And the last one that was saying for Thomas Alva Edison, that says, "The doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent disease with nutrition." So using here the three importances wrote for these so important people in history, and they are also aware about the importance of nutrition in humanity. You see, the doctor of the future is the nutrition. How we're going to treat the human diseases with good nutrition, with good health, getting good habits every day about how we eat, how much water we drink every day, if we make some type of exercises every day, etc. That's why it's so important that you take care of yourself also. Okay, in here we have the first concept. What is human nutrition? Human nutrition is is a process that works inside of our body. This process which substances in food are transformed Do you imagine how beautiful is our nature that transform the foods, all that we eat, it will transform in something. But it probably can be something good, but also can be something that is bad. So that's why it's so important for us to learn what to eat, and human nutrition learn us how what to do. Okay, so all these foods that are transformed can be transformed into body tissues and provide energy for the full range of physical and mental activities that make up human life. So, for all that we do every day, we need energy. Also, we need that all this food get all these great nutrients that all this food has to live and to live good. But what happens when we are eating a lot of fats, a lot of junky food? All this will transform also, but it's going to affect directly our body. It's going to affect directly our heart, our lungs, all our organism. The study of human nutrition is interdisciplinary in character, involving not only physiology, biochemistry, and molecular biology, but also fields such as psychology and anthropology also. So you see how many science we are seeing right now, and the ones that I mentioned for this important topic that is nutrition, which explore the influence of attitude, beliefs, preference, and cultural traditions on food choices. That's why it is important that we learn that depends in the place where we are living, the city, village, country, or we are moved to another country, we need to know what are the food choices for this cultural tradition in certain places, in certain societies. Human nutrition further touches on economy, on politic science as the work community reorganizes and responds to the suffers and death causes for malnutrition. The ultimate goal of nutrition science is to promote optimal health and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. So you see here the importance of culture in nutrition also, because it depends the place where you live or the places where you have the opportunity to go. That's going to be the cultural tradition in food choices. And it's important that you will know what to eat and what don't. Okay. What nutrients are essential for human nutrition? I know that some of you know a lot about that because our body needs proteins, lipids, mostly fats and oils for the but remember that although oils are the good ones, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and water, of course. Water is essential for living, and all these nutrients are essential nutrients for human nutrition. This is all that our body needs. Remember proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, vitamins, mineral, and water. That it's really, really important. But our body needs. What foods are the main sources of human nutrition? It's important that we know what type of foods we need to eat. The main sources for human nutrition include cereals, starchy roots, legumes, vegetables, and fruits. Also, sugar preserves and syrups, meat, fish, eggs, milk and milk products, fats and oils, and beverage. We need all these, but we need to learn the perfect amount of every food that we need to eat. That's why we're going to learn today about the food pyramid so you will know the amounts of every food that our body is needing. Okay? What foods are the main resources? Here we go. Okay, the main resources for human nutrition include a lot of food, but we need to learn about the amounts that we need, the servers per day that our body needs to stay healthy. And that way we wanted to prevent a lot of diseases. What does most provide in human nutrition? Well, what the meat does. Meat provides protein, the different type of meats that we eat, like beef steaks, chicken, pork, etc. All these type of meats give us protein, which is have high biological value in human nutrition. It consists of about 20% protein, 20% fat, and 60% water. That is how it's composed the meat. Meat is also a good source of niacin, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, and the mineral nutrients iron, zinc, phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium. So you will see what all these ingredients that we find in the meat, and that it's important that we eat meat. But we're going to learn, remember, the amount that we have to eat per day or per week. Okay, now we're going to learn about preventive care. This is the second topic that we have to talk about today. Getting preventive care reduces the risk for diseases, disabilities, and death. That's why it's so important that we stay healthy. This is part of the preventive care. Healthy people for 2030 focuses on increasing preventive care for people for all ages. So depends the age that you have, you need different type of preventive care. Like when you are just a baby, a child, you need different type of preventive care, like an adult or an older person, because probably you need get some immunization that you need when you're a child. That and those type of immunization probably you don't need it when you're older. Children need regular well child and dental visits to track their development and find health problems early. That's why it's so important that when we source children get all these visits to the doctors and check the track to going checking their development and find healthy problems early when they're usually easier to treat. If we find what type of disease we have since we're a child, will be a lot of possibilities to live longer. Services like screenings, dental checkups, vaccinations are the key to keeping people of all ages healthy. But for a variety of reasons, many people don't get the preventive care they need, and this happens in our country. And also, it's important that we learn about the preventive care that every culture has, because in some countries they don't believe in vaccines, but they have different preventive cares with getting good, healthy nutrition. That's why it is important that we learn this part. Barriers include cost. This is something that is happening in a lot of countries because we don't have enough money to get the preventive care that every person needs. Also, not having a primary care provider. This is something that is happening nowadays also, and it's happening in history. Living too far from providers. What happened with all these people that live too far, that live in certain type of village? Probably they don't have access to a doctor. They don't have access to the help of that the government give to all the persons in that city, and a lack of awareness about recommended preventive services. So all of these are something that is happening in our society and it happening in our culture, and that's why there's a lot of death in an early childhood. Teaching people about the importance of preventive care is the key to maintain sure more people get recommended services. Law and policy changes can also help more access to these critical services. So, You can see here uh, all of this preventive care and why it's so important for us. And we need to teach people. And we need to teach people and use the culture that we have. Remember that probably when you were a child, your mom, your grandmother teach some preventive care. Uh, in here, we have this square, let's say dream, DREAM, that tells us about the preventive care and what are the more important parts of our body that we need to care. Digestive health, respiratory health, endocrine health, anatomy health, and mental health. Mental health is also really, really important. If we don't have mental health, probably we're going to have a lot of diseases in our digestive system, respiratory system, endocrine system, and in all our anatomy. So you need to take care of all these systems that we have in our body and prevent any type of disease. That's what we call a dream to all this preventive care that you need to take care about. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. We're going to talk also about preventive medicine today that goes at the side of the preventive care. Prevention is better than cure. You remember that a preventive person value twice. So this one is prevention also is better than cure. In fact, preventive future illnesses and preventing complications from existing conditions. These are vital to the future sustainability of health system. In here, I have some examples for you. For example, a vaccine that prevent measles or a medication that prevent a heart attack. The value is obvious. That's why it's so important that we all of us get our vaccines even nowadays, all those illnesses that we have from the COVID-19, and you can see the difference with the people that have the vaccine and the people that are not vaccinated. They have worse diagnostic of any type of illness. That's why it's so important that we take care about the preventive medicine, and not only for us, for all our family and for all the people that live around us, for because we're preventing that for our family, for our friends, from the people where we work, from the people we were studying, and for our community. That's why this is so important. Okay, and here I'm going to show you this healthy eating plate. That is the first part after we go to the food pyramid. So what we need, you see all the water that we need. So we have to drink water, but you can also drink tea, coffee, or milk, any type of juices, any type of liquid. That count also. But just plain water is so important. We need 2 liters every day. So this is 8 glasses of water every day. So you have to drink water, tea, the milk dairy, it's limited. So 1 to 2 servings per day. And juice is just one small glass every day. And you need to avoid any sugary drinks. It's important that you see with all these juices that we have in the market, check the label and check how much sugar are you drinking. Whole grains. You need to eat a variety of whole grains, like whole grain wheat bread, whole grain pasta, and brown rice. So we have all these whole grains food. So limited refined grains like white rice and white bread. You have to limit this part, but you can eat more whole wheat products, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, and whole brown rice. The protein, the healthy protein, you have to choose fish, poultry, beans, and nuts. Uh, a, you can eat red meat also, but you need to avoid that part. You have to limit that part. Also, you need to avoid the bacon, the cold cuts, and other processed meats. That those, some of those all have a certain type of chemics. Um, And that's why it's bad for your health. The vegetables, the more vegetables and veggies are the great variety. So you can eat plenty of vegetables. You need to avoid all the fried food like potatoes and French fries. Those don't count as vegetables. The healthy oils, those are important. The olive oil, canola oil for cooking, and you can eat those type of oils in your salads. So just put that in the table, and you have to put a limitation in butter and avoid trans fats. And you need to eat plenty of foods full of colors. So you could take here all the amounts that we need to have in an healthy eating place. Okay, now we're going to learn about the food pyramid. This is so important, and you see why at the top of the pyramid we have all the foods that we need to avoid. And in the top part, we have the sugar, the refined, the carbohydrates, like flour, pasta, grains, and potatoes. You just have to eat just a little bit. It's better if you don't eat nothing. What happened with the multivitamins and supplements they need? Well, you need to take with a specialist, just a special nutrition, so how many supplements or extra supplements you can eat. The red wine. Well, this is an optional. We can drink 1 or 2 glasses of red wine a day. This is something good for your health, for the grapes and all these ingredients that the wine have. What happened with these spices and herbs? Every time that we cook, we put a lot of spices and herbs, but you can check these once a day. For example, the dairy products like milk, cheese, cream, you can do it 2 or 3 times a day. The tea, the green tea, it's really, really good for us. You can do it probably 2 or 3 cups per day, and the other types of tea just once a day. Okay, we want to talk now about the protein. So in here we find the eggs, the meat, the healthy fats. So you need to choose the protein, probably just one of these served per day. But we need fish 2 or 6 times a week. So imagine that part. How much fish we need to eat? 2 to 6 servers a week. So it's okay if you eat fish every day. I know that the cost and our culture and the money that we need to invest sometimes don't give us the opportunity to eat really, really healthy. But we need some different foods that we can change that have probably the same nutrients that we need and are cheaper. And also we have in the healthy fats, the olive oils, raw roots, and coconut oils. Okay, so we're going to talk about the whole grains. You can eat 3 to 5 servers per day of these whole grains. Also the beans and legumes, you can eat 1 to 2 servings a day. In here at the bottom of our pyramid, you can see all the fruits and vegetables. So you can eat 3 to 4 different type of food a day and 4 to 5 vegetables per day. So as you see here, the more fruits and vegetables that we eat, the better for our health. Okay, and in here we have the questions for this week. Remember that you need to ask these questions and study those questions for our test. Please answer this question at the end of the class. I'm going to share also all this material in the Telegram group. If you have any question, any type of comment, all those are welcome. You can write me also in the email of the class in English or Spanish. So that it's okay for us. Let me just check. I'm going to stop sharing this. And let me share my screen one more time. Okay, we want to talk a little bit more about the food pyramid. What we need to build a balanced diet. And in here, you're gonna learn that we have different type of diets. So we have like the Mediterranean diet or food-based dietary guideline like calls Eureka. We have some European national reference to find information about dietary guidelines and advice. And we have all a new food pyramid because we have different type of culture, and around the world we have different type of vegetables, different type of fruits. Like in China, they or Japan, all the Asian part of the world, they eat a lot of insects, for example. That are good also because our part is like you're eating meat. You need to we're going to find the food waste by innovation food packagings, and you need. I wanted to learn that around the world we have developed different type of dietary suggestions for all the culture around the world, for all the countries, and there's a healthy food guides for their population. But this type of diet is goes directly for certain type of population. Okay, so for example, we have the Middle Eastern countries that eat a lot of legumes. But for example, in the Mediterranean countries, so Croatia, Cyprus, Greece, Spain, they choose a lot of olive oil in the diet. The traditional diet was only given a fund consumption, but some have evolved to us include advice on food safety. So in here, we have some countries and what type of food and how they prepare their food. This is part of culture also. Like in Slovenia, in Italy, they are really, they clean a lot of times vegetables. This is part of the culture. In Sweden, they make more exercises and the population is healthy also. In Belgium, they eat at times and together with others. You see here how food is part of our culture. In Sweden, for example, they eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fish, etc. But you need to build a balanced diet. That's why we need to learn about the food pyramid and how this is developed in our country. You need to learn about the main food groups and what is important for our body. It's important that we learn about the portion that we need to eat, about the service that we need, see if it is 1, 2, 4, 5 service per day, about that food pyramid. We have in here some examples of balanced meals. So what you need to store. So what is this healthy food? And you see here at the top of the pyramid, that's the food that you need to avoid. All this junk food, this food they have a lot of fat, sugar, and salt. In the second line, we need the fats, spreads, and oils. Just a very small amount of this is what our body needs. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, beef, we need 2 servings. Milk, yogurt, cheese, 3 servings a day. Whole meal, cereals, breads, potato, pasta, and rice, 3 to 5. And vegetable salad and fruit, we can eat 5 to 7 per day. I wanted to check this video. Just give me one moment. And we want to learn about these dietary guidelines. What are these and what is the best for us? Just give me one second. Sorry for
Dietary
that.
guidelines help us foster healthy
Okay,
eating
pay
habits
attention,
and
please.
lifestyles. They provide advice on foods, food groups, and dietary patterns. Dietary guidelines help us consume the required nutrients to promote health and prevent chronic diseases. Dietary guidelines are rooted in sound science and are often summarized in a visual. The levels of the pyramid represent foods with similar compositions. The size of the levels represents the relative amount of those foods that we should eat. By consuming a bit of everything in the recommended amounts, we will get the nutrients for our body to function properly. Cutting a food group increases the risk of missing out on essential nutrients. Several options within each level makes it easier to find something you fancy. Some dietary guidelines include child-sized portions or vegan and vegetarian options. They all need to be adapted by the individual. Different people have different needs, but everyone can adapt the guidelines. Which is best? The Mediterranean diet often hits the headlines. However, dietary guidelines of other countries are equally healthy. They are all tailored to their own populations. They take our culture and habits into account and cater for local food produce. For example, chickpeas and lentils are highlighted in the Middle East, while olive oil features in all Mediterranean guidelines. Different visual formats are used. All are relevant. This is facilitated by each country's easy-to-use guidelines. Dietary advice across Europe is now moving towards a more holistic approach. They include food safety, like in Slovenia's dietary guidelines, or sustainability, like in Sweden's dietary guidelines. The reasons behind the differences are not difficult to grasp. Fresh tomatoes are more available and sustainable in an Italian summer than during a Swedish winter. Remember to adapt your country's dietary guidelines to your individual needs.
Okay, as just here in this video, you can check that every country has its own guideline. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Antonio. Okay, just let me run this one more time because we have a double sound. Thank you so much. Okay, give me one moment. I'm going to turn off my microphone.
Dietary guidelines help us foster healthy eating habits and lifestyles. They provide advice on foods, food groups, and dietary patterns. Dietary guidelines help us consume the required nutrients to promote health and prevent chronic diseases. Dietary guidelines are rooted in sound science and are often summarized in a visual. The levels of the pyramid represent foods with similar compositions. The size of the levels represents the relative amount of those foods that we should eat. By consuming a bit of everything in the recommended amounts, we will get the nutrients for our body to function properly. Cutting a food group increases the risk of missing out on essential nutrients. Several options within each level makes it easier to find something you fancy. Some dietary guidelines include child-sized portions or vegan and vegetarian options. They all need to be adapted by the individual. Different people have different needs, but everyone can adapt the guidelines. Which is best? The Mediterranean diet often hits the headlines. However, dietary guidelines of other countries are equally healthy. They are all tailored to their own populations. They take our culture and habits into account and cater for local food produce. For example, chickpeas and lentils are highlighted in the Middle East, while olive oil features in all Mediterranean guidelines. Different visual formats are used. All are relevant. This is facilitated by each country's easy-to-use guidelines. Dietary advice across Europe is now moving towards a more holistic approach. They include food safety, like in Slovenia's dietary guidelines, or sustainability, like in Sweden's dietary guidelines. The reasons behind the differences are not difficult to grasp. Fresh tomatoes are more available and sustainable in an Italian summer than during a Swedish winter. Remember to adapt your country's dietary guidelines to your individual needs.
Okay, as you see here in this video, we have to adapt the food that we have in our country, even if we're getting a diet from another culture. So that's why it's so important that we learn all this part. And we're going to see another video about the correct way of preventive diseases. And that it's so easy. First of all, just give me stop this presentation. And it's so easy, just preventive with using the mask correctly and the correct way to wash your hands. And I would like that you write me in the Telegram group if you know about all these topics and about all these things, and if you really know how to wash your hands correctly and how to use the mask correctly. This sounds funny, but sometimes we don't know how to do it right.
Maintain good hygiene.
To prevent communicable diseases, we should always maintain good personal and environmental hygiene.
Ah, you are right! How to clean our hands properly.
Hand washing is part of everyone's daily routines.
Let's learn the 7 steps of hand washing.
First, wet hands under running water. Then keep hands away from the running water. Apply liquid soap and rub hands together to make a soapy lather. Then rub it in accordance with the 7 steps of hand washing. The first step, palm. The second step, back of hands. The third step, finger webs. The fourth step, back of fingers. The fifth step, thumbs. The sixth step, fingertips. The seventh step, wrists.
Rub our hands for at least 20 seconds. It is about the time spent in singing a happy birthday song twice.
Do not rinse off soap while rubbing. After rubbing, rinse hands thoroughly under running water. Then dry hands thoroughly with either a clean cotton towel, a paper towel, or a hand dryer. Do not touch the water tap directly again with your clean hand.
Let me use a paper towel to wrap the faucet before turning it off.
Bravo! When hands are not visibly soiled, you can also use 70 to 80% alcohol-based hand rub to clean your hands. Apply adequate amount of alcohol-based hand rub onto your palm and then rub your hands according to the 7 steps for at least 20 seconds until the hands are dry.
How to wear a surgical mask properly.
You look sick.
I got infected. The doctor said I have respiratory infection.
Then wear a mask to protect yourself and others.
Catch it! Hi!
Thank you. How to wear?
First, choose the appropriate mask size. Children should choose the child size. Wash your hands properly before wearing a mask. When you put on a mask, the metallic strip should be uppermost. The colored side of the mask faces outwards. Position the elastic bands around both ears. Mask should fit snugly over the face, extended to cover fully the mouth, nose and chin. Mold the metallic strip over nose bridge. In fact, most surgical masks adopt a 3-layer design which includes an outer fluid-repelling layer, a middle layer serving as a barrier to germs, and an inner moisture-absorbing layer. Do not wear the mask inside out. Avoid touching the mask afterwards. Otherwise, wash your hands before and after touching the mask. Then let's take a look at how to properly take off the mask. Before taking off the mask, wash your hands first. Hold both the ear loops and take off the mask gently. Avoid touching the outside of mask. Then, discard it in a lidded rubbish bin.
Remember to wash your hands immediately.
Mask should not be reused. Replace the mask immediately if it is damaged or soiled.
Don't hesitate to change your mask.
To know more about personal and environmental
Okay, so we learn also about this preventive thing that we need to do. And you see all these 7 steps that we need to take to wash our hands. So I hope that you learned that part also. I'm going to share all this information in the Telegram group. Also, I have a report here that have all these videos in the platform. I'm going to report that part. But also, that's why it's important that we can get this communication through the group. I hope that you enjoy this class. Thank you so much for your attention. I'm going to send all the information in the Telegram group. If you have any question, any recommendation, any suggestion, all those are welcome. Remember to answer all the questions that we have for this week number 2. Thank you so much for your attention, and you have a great, great weekend. Thank you so much.